Well, hey, everybody. This is Connor Bourne here with the Bourne Financial Coaching Show. I hope everyone is doing well today. I'm really looking forward to our conversation here, as what I'm going to be talking about is how early is too early to start saving for college. The short answer and maybe the spoiler alert is that it's never too early to start saving for college. And we're going to break down a couple of reasons why I think that's true here on the pod or YouTube video today, however you are listening. So what we're going to do is we're going to share our screen here just so I can make sure that I can point out and maybe type out a few things that I really want to make sure we can take with us. And, the first thing that I want to discuss is the power of time and compound growth. Is when it comes to saving for college or really any big financial goal for that matter, time is your greatest asset. The earlier you start saving, even small amounts, especially small amounts, the more time you give compound interest to do its work. And that is some really heavy lifting. Think about it like this. Saving $50 a month from the time your child is born can grow into tens of thousands of dollars by the time they're ready for college, depending on that average return over time. However, if you wait until middle school, you would have to invest way more than $50 a month in order to meet that same target that investing at $50 from the time they were born they would get you. And that assumes that interest rate remains the same over time, which we don't know. So really, not only are you saving significantly as you are investing smaller amounts over time, right? So you have more money to go into different parts of your budget. But, as that amount grows over time, you're going to be able to potentially have some flexibility with that, which is something that we're going to touch base on later. However, if you decide to wait and want to, push off that starting of the saving for your child's college fund, yet again, you're going to have to save significantly more, or maybe take some risk and create a higher interest rate to reach that same goal. And you know what? A lot of times there's pressure associated with that. And when you're making financial decisions under pressure, a lot of times that's when you start to make some irrational thoughts and make some irrational choices. So let's have that time and let's harness the power of time and that compound growth. Number two here, as we continue along here at the Bourne Financial Coaching Show, is that you don't have to start big to start right. So you don't have to start big to start right. One of the biggest misconceptions that you can see out there, especially as it relates to your child's college, is you have to start with this just amazingly huge contribution. You don't. I'm going to say that again. You don't have to start with a big splashy contribution to start your child's college fund off right. Even if you can only save $25, $50, or $100 a month at first, it's a strong start because it is a start. Assuming that you're going to make some big payment down the line, that might not happen. It's going to be important to start today. Consistency is far more important than perfection. And I'm going to write that point down. Far more important than perfection. Setting up that automatic transfer into a 529 plan or another education savings account can make that seemingly small savings feel effortless. However, as I've hopefully maybe even overshared at this point, those small and steady contributions can grow into a powerful resource for your child's future. So really the big practical tip here is going to be, if this is something you want to start doing and making contributions to consistently, there are ways to make those auto drafts and make sure that it's just a part of the budget. And that's just a part of life, is saving for your child's college. And number three here, as for another reason why you can never start saving for college too early, is that it gives you flexibility and peace of mind. And in a lot of ways, this might be my favorite reason why it's important to start those college savings early. I love thinking about wealth in terms of options. So, starting early gives you more of that flexibility down the road, because not if, when life throws you a curveball, when you have those job changes, when you have those unexpected expenses, whatever it may be, you'll have time to adjust without derailing those goals. You might start and have the greatest intentions in terms of saving for your child's education. Then you have that big budget buster, and you say, you know what, we're going to have to put that on pause for a little bit. You're going to be thankful that you started early, because you can kind of hang your head on the fact that you got something in there. And B, you can always, once you have finished paying off what you're trying to pay, whether or not it's another loan or some unexpected expense, you can always go back to contributing to your child's college fund. All that to be said, starting early gives you more flexibility down the road, right? Because, the reason why we're talking about saving for our child's college early is to have those options. And, they might hit 16, 17 and the education system is different. Or maybe they end up, or it's looking like that they're going to be able to qualify for different scholarships and things like that. And then the conversation goes from how can we maximize contributions to the 529 plan into how can we, maybe use this money for something else. And, as of the recording of this podcast, there are certain ways, if you meet certain requirements, that you can repurpose 529 plan dollars. Certain amounts could be allowed for the creation or funding of a Roth IRA, depending on the amount of time you've held that money in that account. But we're getting down a rabbit trail here, and we don't need to do that. But what I do want us to think about is these three elements of the reason why starting saving for your child's college is so important. Yet again, we have the power of that compound growth. It's not just having that big splash. In fact, it's not even about having a big splash. It's about starting that small ripple early. Number two, you don't have to start big to start right. It's more important to start at all than wait till you start big. Because if you wait until you hit the number that you want to make that first contribution, you might not ever hit it. Just, that could be a reality. And three, starting early gives you that flexibility and peace of mind. So important. Such a mental weight off of your shoulder, knowing that you are doing the things. You are saving for your child's college, just one little bit at a time. So have I made my point clear? How early is too early to start saving for college? It's never too early. What size contributions should I use in order to fund, my child's great big college education? The size isn't as important as doing it now and being consistent, and slowly but surely over time, you're going to have that amount of money to be able to bless your child with for their education. Every little bit helps. You don't have to do it perfectly. You just got to get started. If you're wondering how planning for your child's college education could impact your total financial picture, that's where I come in. I'd love the chance to sit down with you and see if there's any opportunities just to run some numbers, put some visuals out there, and make sure that you feel the most able to make the best decision for your family as it relates to your child and their education. Again, this is Connor Bourne here with Bourne Financial Coaching, and I really hope you've appreciated our show here today. And if you do like this, please feel free to like and share. But most importantly, we'd love the chance to just get to chat with you and see what your financial picture looks like, and if there's other opportunities that I could come in and help. Thanks. This has been Connor Bourne with Bourne Financial Coaching. Connor is an independent investment advisor representative affiliated with Registered Investment Advisor Strategic Blueprint. Everything that was discussed today on the financial front are principles that can be applied to certain circumstances. These circumstances may or may not be your own. Therefore, please do not consider this individual advice because I don't know your personal circumstances. If you would like to receive some personal advice, please reach out through my social media accounts at Bourne Financial Coaching, or send me an email at cbourne@bournefinancialcoaching.com. Thanks.